back to Degrassi, the Class of Nostalgia. I am Michaela, one of the co-hosts of the podcast Degrassi, the Class of Nostalgia. And today I'm doing a tier list, or at least my version of the tier list. And then next week you'll see Amber's version of this same tier list. And so this month we are talking about Shark in the Water, which is literally my favorite season. And I just want to point out that in the podcast, we're not necessarily talking about the season Shark in the Water. So like season 10, we're talking about the advertisement and like the link of the advertisement to season 10. So I guess technically we are talking about season 10, but we're not going to dive deep into season 10 because we kind of already talked about season 10 a lot. So if you do want to see us talk about that, make sure you go watch our other episodes, go listen to our other episodes. We have both video and audio podcasts, for everybody who chooses whichever version of podcast to either listen to or look at, to each their own. And so this week I am doing my tier list for Shark in the Water, specifically like the storylines. And I'm not going to talk too much about it just because, like I said, I want to leave that for the podcast. But I am going to kind of get into it a little bit. So I'm going to start and I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about the tier list. So I did the bottom. So it goes from the top to the bottom. Top is literally it's perfect. It's a perfect storyline. I loved it. I feel like it was no problems, no issues. I loved everything about it. Dramatic AF is more like it was almost perfect. Like they just need to do a little bit more, but it was dramatic. And I loved that it was dramatic. Good, but not great. Like it was there for the story, but it could have been better. Yawn meaning it wasn't a horrible storyline, but it definitely wasn't something necessarily needed, and I didn't really care for it. And then the last one is literally, I can't watch it. I don't want to look at it. And I genuinely don't think that I will be using the blue tier. I don't want to look at it just because, like I said, I love season 10. And so probably Yawning will probably be the least for me. But yeah, I'm just going to get into it. Over here is all my images from the Shark in the Water music video. And then, like I said, I'm going to kind of describe the storyline and then where I'm ranking it. So the first one is, I'm not for sure Dave's necessarily storyline this in the Shark in the Water. I think his whole purpose for the music video, his part of the music video was to be I'm going to try to get Allie. I'm finally going to try my best to get with Allie because, they were friends and he always had a crush on her. And I think his whole main reasoning for his part in the story in the music video was to be I'm going to finally attempt to get Allie. And I don't know. I like the Drew and Allie's storyline, but I feel I like Dave and Allie's friendship so much that I don't know. I didn't really feel like it was. Don't get me wrong. I love the storyline. I think I'm gonna put it at good, not great, just because I don't think the timing was right. Not saying her and Drew should have been together, because obviously, it wasn't the best relationship. But I do consider that kind of where the storyline, this screenshot, I think that's what it was kind of trying to do. So that's why I put it at good, not great. Fiona's, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word, so I'm gonna just kind of say Fiona's relationship, or I don't want to call it a relationship because that's horrible, but everything that happened to Fiona in this whole story, I think was so sad and so heartbreaking, and I think it kind of just, I don't know how to necessarily talk about it because I just I don't know. Everything that happened to Fiona, I was just this is some BS. This girl deserves better. She's going to end up finding her love, Imogen. And I don't know. I want to put it at dramatic AF, but it wasn't necessarily dramatic. It was a topic that really needed to be talked about. And I think Degrassi always does a sort of realistic job in talking about the sort of relationship that she was in, especially with Terry and everything. So I'm going to put it at dramatic AF, but it wasn't really dramatic. I really just felt like it needed to be talked about. I don't think it's perfect, but the depiction and everything, the storyline, everything she went through before and after the trial, everything, I think, I just think it was a great storyline. Jenna and Casey. Now, let me just say, if I'm going off season 9, you know everything that happened. Jenna took Claire's man, even though nobody freaking wants Casey. And when I saw this, I didn't really care. When I saw them in the music video, I didn't really care. I was like, I could care less. I could see less of them. But when I tell you that, because like I said, I didn't pay attention to their part in the music video. But when I tell you, when I saw their storyline on the show of her getting pregnant, I was like, I've never seen karma is a bitch play out so great. And I don't want to say a baby is karma because I think a baby can be very much a blessing, but I'm just talking about in their instance because you could tell. First of all, they're high schoolers. They weren't planning to have a baby. They just happened to get pregnant. And Jenna was like at the top of her game. She was like a singer. She was like the top cheerleader. Oh, great! Everybody loves Jenna. And then Casey was like this star basketball player. Everybody wanted to get with him. Marisol was trying to get up in there, and they was like, nope, we're gonna put a baby in her. And I loved it. Like, to be honest, after Jenna got pregnant, I actually started to like Jenna, not necessarily when she got pregnant, but like I think everything that she went through when she had the baby, I just started to like her better. So it's definitely going to dramatic AF because it wasn't perfect, but I think that's more because my opinion of not really liking them at the time. I just put a dramatic AF just because it was a top tier storyline. It's just that I didn't like Casey. Like, could it be somebody else? And maybe it would be top of the list. Anya. Now, this was the one I was most disappointed about just because when I saw her in the music video, I really was not expecting her to get two-faced. I think that's what her thing said. And I was like, Anya? I never really had like a love for Anya, but I never had like a hate for Anya. So to see her be called Two-Face, I was like, and hold a snake, I was like, I thought we was about to get a Britney Spears moment. I thought we was about to get like a Manny Santos. I don't know what I was thinking, but it just was like a letdown because I really was excited to see Anya's storyline play out. Like, and then we get her being with Owen ill. I don't also think I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but the stuff, up her nose. Like, no, that wasn't a good storyline either because it wasn't like she was addicted to it. So it like went away super quick. But it also wasn't like, I'm just trying it. They try to make it seem like she was addicted, but then the next episode she wasn't doing it no more. So it was like, I don't know. And then the storyline where her mom got sick, I was like, okay, we finally gonna see something from Anya, but then they ended up not really. They just made it more like reasons why we didn't see Anya because her mom was sick. She was always with her mom, and so we never saw Anya other than when she was like, "Oh, I'm going to the hospital with my mom." And then what else was her story? I think she had one more. Oh, and then she ended up going to the army or something like that. I think that was good, but they didn't really go into that much. They mostly was focusing on her and Owen's relationship at that moment. So that is why I'm gonna. Sorry, y'all. I'm putting it at Yawn because I think the writing, or I don't know if it was, I don't know what it was, but it just needed to be elevated a little bit more because if somebody told me, okay, a character is about to be, doing stuff, her mom is sick, she going in a relationship with a dude she shouldn't be going in a relationship with, and at the end she gonna end up going to like the military or something, I think I would have been like, oh, that sounds so cool. But then seeing it play out, it wasn't. So I was like, whatever. Okay. I don't even really have to explain. Like, y'all know that's literally season 10 is where Eli was introduced, the love of my life. And y'all know when I saw this, I was like, I don't think Eli was introduced before season 10, so I didn't know who he was. I was just like, ooh, Claire about to get herself a new man. I was excited. I saw it said lovers or something like that, and I was like, ooh, Claire, after Casey's grossness, you gonna get this cute little boy. Yo, I said little boy. Oh, you gonna get this cute. He wasn't a man yet. You gonna get this cute guy? Yeah, that's a good one. You gonna get this cute guy? And then it said death, and I was like, really? I really thought this dude was gonna die. Like, throughout the whole season, I was like, if this dude died, because I always went back to a shark in the water like music video, and I was like, because this music video was on my playlist. It was always on repeat, and I was just like, I swear, if this dude died, I'm gonna be so upset. Thank God he didn't die. Spoiler alert. But that tension, that built tension just from the music video, I was like, Degrassi, you know what you're doing. The Bianca storyline, I don't even remember what her storyline was. Was this like when Allie and Drew started dating, and then she kind of just came in and was like, "I'm about to steal your man"? Like, I don't know. I was tired of the Allie getting no love type of thing. Not so much like it was good writing. I just me personally, my opinion, I just was tired of Allie getting the short end of the stick. But it was a good storyline, so I'm gonna put it in dramatic AF. I don't know why I was really going low, like, oh, I didn't like that Bianca was being treated this way. I didn't like Allie being treated this way. But y'all know that fight, though, that fight between Bianca and Allie, I think that's so funny because you would think like the season, I don't know what season it was, but when Emma and Alex was fighting and Emma was beating Alex's tail, that was basically what this fight was. Like, I not saying Allie won that fight, but the fact that Bianca definitely didn't win, but I think it was pretty even match. But the fact that it was even match was very surprising because I feel like for me, you would think Allie, always done up, always looking cute. You didn't think this girl could fight. I didn't. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I didn't think she could fight. So I was like, beat her tail. Beat her tail. Next, Fitz, Yawn, like, go away, get out of my life. I really could care less. I'm not even gonna talk about that dude. I guess if you connected with the Eli Claire story, it's technically at the top, but I'm not doing that. That dude, to be honest, I should put him at the bottom. But like I said, he had something to do with Claire and Eli's story, so whatever. I'm gonna put this at good, not great. The Drew and Riley storyline. I just felt like they should have focused more on Riley's sexuality. I can't speak on, of course, the LGBTQ, but I just felt like Riley was always fighting with himself. Like, he was always having an internal battle. So the fact that they kind of just was like, Drew is now his physical battle. Like, oh, this guy's stronger than him, faster than him, cuter than him. Even though he don't even like girls, he likes guys. So that has nothing to do with him. But they kind of made it seem like Drew was coming in this better version of Riley. And now Riley has not only an internal battle that he's still struggling with, but now like a man versus man battle, which I just felt like it was good to, like, I liked it. I'm not going to say I didn't like the storyline. I just don't really feel like either it wasn't needed. Like I said, they could have just focused on Riley's sexuality, or they could have just focused on, like, they could have brought it up higher. Like, I want to see some all-out fights, some brawls, something. I wanted to see something, not brawls, like fight. Okay, so next, the Adam storyline. I just feel like with Adam's storyline, being that, like I said earlier, I can't really touch on the LGBTQ situation just because I've never been through that. But I feel like with Adam, that was the first time I was really introduced to transgender. And I feel like that was definitely something we needed to see. I know a lot of people said they didn't like that Jordan, the actress, played a female to male transgender because the actress is a female. And, she don't understand it either. I don't know if she's part of the LGBTQ, but I know she's not transgender. And so I know a lot of people felt a certain way about that. And I totally understand where they're coming from. But I think just the exposure itself, not saying that, that makes it better, but the fact that for someone like me who never even heard of transgender or never really knew anything about it, I think that it was such a great storyline, just the storyline itself. And if I'm just going off the storyline and not, everything else that surrounds it, I think that it's definitely a top storyline. I think the introduction of Adam was a beautiful character. I freaking loved Adam. I think if Adam was a real person, we would definitely be best friends. I love the relationship between Claire, Eli, and Adam. Another thing I feel like that's not touched on a lot, the fact that Claire is a Christian, and a lot of people, be like, oh, you would think Claire wouldn't, really understand or accept Adam. And, even Becky, even though this has nothing to do with season 10, but the fact that Becky accepted Adam, I think a lot of that shows. I really like that because I am a Christian. So I just love that they showed that. And I don't think that's talked about a lot. I think a lot of people, when they talk about Christians on TV and stuff, they always have them going at LGBTQ or anything, not just LGBTQ, but anything really. And I just love that Degrassi showed that, because at the end of the day, the religion is about love, or at least that's how I see that's how I practice my religion, is God is love. And I just love the storyline, and especially, Claire and Adam's relationship is so beautiful. And last but not least, the Holly J and Sav storyline. Now, I think I have a very unpopular opinion about the Sav and Anya storyline. Personally, I didn't care about their relationship. I thought it was weird because everybody likes to be like even in these times, everybody's talking about Euphoria with Cassie and Maddie, and they always going back and forth about the whole Nate situation. And Holly J was literally best friends with Anya. And I don't think Anya care. I understand it's like a high school relationship, but it's not that important. But literally, Anya and Sal were talking about marriage. They literally was linked up at the hip since like 9th grade. So the fact that nobody cared about Holly J and Sav getting together, I guess they weren't surprised because it's Holly J. But I don't know. I didn't feel that great about the relationship. So the storyline was like a yawn to me. I'm surprised I put that many storylines at yawn. I think the storylines at the top were so great to me that season 10 is my favorite season. But these 3 storylines was just kind of like, if they didn't happen, I still think the season would be great, in my opinion. But I did love their little section in the music video, because I was like, Holly J, I don't know what they're called, like the little puppet master people, or like the head person or whatever. I think they chose perfectly for her to be the head person. So that's the video, my tier list for today. So like I said, next week Amber will be posting her tier list, and I hope y'all enjoy. Leave in the comments down below. Do y'all agree with my list? How would you change the list? Like I said, this is strictly just my opinion. I'm not like dissecting each season and all that stuff, but if you do want to see that, definitely go check out our podcast episode. And yeah, you should give it a thumbs up, and you subscribe. Go tell your friends, and we will see y'all next time. Bye.